action today. Sitting on the couch, we've got Petra. Petra, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I had a good night of sleep. I'm full energized. I'm ready.
And it's your last day with us here in this early bit of the stage. You ready to head on home for a little while?
Yeah, I mean, I like my time here. It could be a little bit longer, but sure.
It's fine. You'll be watching at home. You'll be streaming the games, surely.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch party.
Yeah, nice.
And I have a hunch we'll see more of you very soon. And Billy, of course, on the other side of the couch. Billy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be back. It feels like first day back at school almost, with the kind of built up energy that I have. Just excited to get back to the home region and see how the players that didn't make it to that Masters London perform now here. That we have the new studio as well. It's the first time seeing the new studio. So yeah, really good vibes going into today.
Well, we don't need to worry about the international competition just yet. Right now, we're focused in on EMEA, so let's take a look at the standings. Let's see where we're at, how the pools are stacked. Most of our teams have been through one game at least. What do we make of these standings early on here, Billy?
Yeah, I think for me, what's very clear in EMEA at the moment is that it's really open, right? Usually by the time it gets to EMEA, we have a couple of very clear front runners. And yes, you could make that argument for Vitality, but for FUT, having a loss in their opening game the other day, you know, it's definitely anyone's to kind of take it, I think, when we look forward to that championship, and which is what makes this stage super exciting. I think that Minnie was having a joke the other day about, you know, people calling EMEA boring. There's so much to play for at this stage, which makes it super hype.
Everyone must be very eager to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're giving our numbers guys a serious workout as they work through all the potential scenarios and permutations from every game. Speaking of every game, we've got 2 for you today. Let's dive into today's schedule because it's an exciting slate of matches. We do have one debut on the day. That's Heretics. They'll be coming later on. But in the meantime, Gentlemates taking on FUT before Heretics challenge Liquid with the new father in tow.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be a dad buff for them, having Nats come back to play for the stage. Lohan obviously gave it his best shot, but it's nice to see that team come back together. I guess from your perspective, Petra, it's an exciting day because you get to see 2 of your favorite teams on the stage.
Yeah, Gentlemates and Team Heretics are both my favorite teams, so it's a good day today.
It will be exciting indeed as we get to it. But first, some more exciting games as we dive into this matchup between the Mates and good old FUT. Now, the Gentlemates had a little bit of a nicer start here to this stage. What do we make of the Gentlemates here, Petra?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Mini again on the duelist. He's been doing very well, so I'm curious. Maybe he's going to bring the same power he had yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, he showed a lot of versatility, I think, which is what impressed me. He played 3 different agents throughout that series, a Waylay, a Jet, a Neon. The Neon was the thing that impressed me the most, I think. We saw the energy that he had on the stage, the smack he was talking as well across the stage. Against Pacific, maybe shouldn't have been doing that much smack talk, considering they're a team that are yet to pick up a win here in VCT EMEA. But yeah, I think his transition to that duelist role has been really impressive for me so far.
In Pacific's defense, they did start that series with a win, right?
They got a map win. Finally, they won split.
A map win, and that's
very
progress.
close.
That's the first step towards a series win. But speaking about Mini and the role swap that you saw over on that Gentlemates roster, that's something you want to dive into here, Billy.
Yeah, for sure, because I think Mini jumping over to that duelist, I don't know from your perspective, Petra, how difficult it is for players to go from this Sentinel anchor role to then pivot into something that's so much more explosive and being that first entry.
Yeah, you're completely used to being super static, right, as a Sentinel. Sometimes you have some aggressive plays, but it's a big difference. I've done it myself as well, from Recon to Duelist, so it's a big change,
For sure, and I think on the other side of that, we have Bippo, who's on this Sentinel now, and he has been looking absolutely incredible. Such an increase in performance when we consider the stats that he was putting up in Stage 1 in comparison to Stage 2. That first kill to first death ratio, based off of that opening game, is already looking insane. And I think these are the kind of things that you look for from your site anchor, being able to get those picks and being able to anchor that site.
Yeah, and you saw even on the Sentinel, he had some little aggressive plays, and he's still buying the Judge, so he's like implementing the duelist a little bit in Insanity, and it's working out pretty well.
Kind of the ideal scenario, right? A role swap where everybody seems to benefit. That's got to make you feel good if you're in the Gentlemates camp.
Yep.
I think as well, coming out of Stage 1 and into Stage 2, we were curious about what roster changes Gentlemates might make, given the performances they had in Stage 1. And I think that Bippo was definitely one of those players that had a big question mark over his head as to, is he really the strongest player that they can have for this team? So it's really nice to see him come into his own now. And I'm hoping that he can build up that confidence, because at moments we've seen where that's not really been the case. He's more of a kind of, not that he's hard on himself, but I think that that comes across at points, especially when he was on the role as a duelist, where you can't be like that. You have to be confident, right?
Yeah, and now he had a little taste, right? He had some good games, so I hope he's gonna continue with this confidence into the next games.
Flipping over to the other side of the server, right? We've got a team that we have high expectations for that didn't necessarily put their best foot forward. What do we make of that opening game for FUT?
Best foot forward.
Yeah, was that deliberate?
I mean, how can you not with this team? How can you not?
Hey, listen, if you like feet, you can just say that. It's okay. But
please, let's talk about the Valorant here.
Jokes aside, I think for FUT, yeah, they were caught off guard by Navi, I think is fair to say. I think that even I was caught off guard personally from Navi. I think that they've definitely gone for this more aggressive playstyle the desk was kind of highlighting over these past few days. And I think that when I think about FUT and their performance in London, they gave EMEA something to believe in once again, which was so exciting for me. So I'm hoping that they can bounce back from that performance that they had in their opening game.
Yeah, they do have to play a little bit more adaptive to bounce back.
And one of the big contrasts we saw from their performance in London versus that first game was one individual, right? Sop, somebody we expect big things from, the young gamer, not necessarily showing up as we expect in that first game.
Yeah, I think when I look at Sop's performance in London, this was someone that we know performs well, and when he got to that global stage, people finally recognized this player and got to understand him and see him as a rival, a global rival, right, when we consider the performances that he was putting up. But I think that opening game was not what we're used to seeing from him whatsoever. It was a complete underperformance, and I guess from your perspective, Petra, you know, you've played with a lot of young players. How is it being able to kind of motivate your teammates to get them back into the mindset that, okay, we had a loss and you didn't perform at your usual best?
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, continue that momentum.
It can be very difficult to get them back on their feet, but as long the team is giving each other compliments and hype each other up, I think it's very doable. So it's very team dependent. Yeah.
It was interesting as well. Something that Sop mentioned in an interview afterwards was that there was a lot of chaos in their preparation, a lot of chaos in their communication, perhaps. And when you think about a young guy who's still maybe adapting to this stage of play, that just makes your life so much more difficult.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned chaos, because our Turkish teams are usually teams that thrive in chaos. But something that was chaotic that they did bring was that Ascent composition. That was not what I expected in this team's identity whatsoever. We got to see Sociable on the Phoenix, and whilst Yampy made that look great yesterday with Team Vitality, I'm just not sure that this is FUT optimizing the players that they have, especially when we see Zeus on the Chamber that last year was not really playing the sniper at all, Petra. So what do you think of Sociable on Phoenix, first of all?
I actually think it makes sense like this, because as an IGL, you want to be in the pack, right? You want to be in the moment, you want to be able to see what's happening and call the shots. And Zeus being able to play Chamber while Sop is actually taking the operator now and then, I think Sop needs to make space for the team. So I think it makes sense.
I will say as well, got a chance to chat with Vlad. He seemed to imply that they like the idea of the Sociable Phoenix, so we should be seeing some more of it, perhaps. Maybe,
the sniper
but
guy.
It's time to find out more what's going to be happening in our game today. It's time to dive into the skirmish.
Ready?
Yep. You are?
Oh, well, you know better.
Oh, that was a good shot. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm coming. I quit playing. That's why. Ah!
You got me.
Okay.
Better Odin, huh?
Yeah.
FUT choosing to pick second there. We're going to dive into our veto, see what we got for the maps. Anything you're expecting to see here, Billy?
I'm quite excited to see both of them opting for the Odin in that skirmish, first of all. But I think, yeah, looking at this map veto, okay. Ascent was floated until the end, but FUT decided that they didn't quite want to go there. I think Mates picking up the Sunset, that looked good for them the other day, especially if Mini can put up that great performance on Neon again.
Yeah, but I do think because they didn't play against the Sentinel, they got a little bit more freedom. So I don't know what Footballist composition is going to be. So depending on that, let's see.
And the Haven from FUT, I love that selection from them. I think that they looked so great on it regionally and in London, and I can't wait to see it here today.
Well, we are going to see it indeed. It's time to get into the stage. It's time to get into our teams. They're ready for the face-off. Touch of the fist at the center of the stage, but it's going to be about who's got their foot in the right place as we head into this matchup. What do we make of these two teams?
Oh, sorry.
We're diving into it. Who you got? Who you got, Petra?
I think it's going to be a very good game for Gentlemates.
Okay, we're looking forward to the Gentlemates. We got a touch of this veto. Billy, where are you leaning?
Ooh, honestly, I think that FUT definitely have a lot to prove coming into today, especially starting this
Так, я
season
почти
on a
все...
loss. I
Ой,
think for them, I
фу,
wanna see
почти
how they
здесь,
bounce back
если
from that.
чё.
When we
Какое
think
ку ты,
back
нахера
to the season, they were
закрепил
on track to
сообщение
almost
ку?
flawless until it got to that very last game of the stage. So,
Сейчас я
yeah,
совсем
for
скоро
me, it's just
появлюсь.
how can they bounce back
2
from having
секунды.
an initial loss, especially when we're playing in such back-to-back days as well. This isn't something that Gentlemates are maybe as used to as much as the FUT roster, I think is fair to say. So yeah, it's just how do they adapt in the moment? Something that you had mentioned, Petra, was FUT struggling to adapt in those moments when they played against Navi the other day.
Yeah, they wake up a little bit late and they don't realize what actually the enemy is playing exactly. So if they adapt fast enough, they have a chance.
Well, as the players settled into their Razor chairs on this stage, we'll settle in to see the composition for this first map. Anything wild and weird? We know FUT's already been mixing some things up with the comp. Anything you want to see here?
Oh, I don't know what to expect. I know that they've had a bit of time to prepare, obviously, with Sunset coming back into the pool. They, of course, made it to a pretty high finish when we consider back to Masters London, a top 6 performance for them. So I'm curious to see what avenue they actually go down, and nothing too crazy, honestly.
No, and they have a Sentinel footballist, so I wonder how Gentlemates is going to adapt to that.
Yeah, for sure. And Yetajay has been great on this Sentinel. Let's not lie about that. We know that he is so great on this Cypher in particular. I'm really happy to see Zeus on that Waylay.
Прием, прием.
Probably expect the Waylay to appear on Haven as well when we get to that.
Так, мне кажется, наушники уже зарядились. Можно начинать по чуть-чуть.
On the other side, Gentlemates, we saw how great Mini looked on the Neon. Martin as well, jumping onto this Phoenix, looked really, really impressive for me. I think starting on the attack,
Чего, сегодня в меньшем количестве находимся или как? Сколько вас тут? Представьтесь, кто в тени деревьев сидит. Мало нас, уже 4, уже здорово. Здорово, здорово. Да, это не так работает.